Hey, good morning, everybody. Sorry for all the tech problems, but we finally got it going. I think you can hear me. Yeah? Yeah? Oh, good. Well, hey, let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. You could be a hero yesterday, but a zero today. So please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hola, my name is Wayne. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com, an ECN that gives you direct access to the interbanking market as a Forex trader, but also many other tools for the trade, such as energies, metals, indices, and binary options. Today's session is hosted live at Forex.Today. You can attend for free. And icing on the cake is we also have a team of analysts stationed around the world posting trade ideas throughout the day for you for free. Just swing on by. But hey, do me a favor. Pay it back. Leave a comment. Share it. Like it. Do something, dude. Pay it back, right? Takes you 1 second. Takes someone else 45 minutes to write the articles, right? All right, so this thing called Forex. Wait, that didn't work. Where did the desktop go? There we go. This thing called Forex. I want to show you this pound Swissy. Nice little move yesterday, huh? Even the Swiss franc can beat the pound. But look how it came on down into the weekly pivot profit zone. Remember, at the beginning of the week on Monday, if you're a bear, your target is that green zone down here. That's what your target was on Monday. Now, it's very interesting. We hit it on the last trading day of the year. Or not the year, but the week. Isn't that funny? Marina says pound Kiwi. Yeah. If you recall yesterday, we did a relative strength exercise and we had picked out that the Kiwi was strong and the pound was weak. In fact, the Kiwi was quite strong versus everything, and pound was quite weak versus everything. So that's the logical pair, huh? But even big movers, it's just interesting. You know, it went a little farther. It snuck that little psych level in, and price will do that. But still, this was the target on Monday. And what we did is came up, touched the weekly central, dropped. And when weekly central is your top, which it is here, oops. When the weekly central is the top, the S2 is the actual target. But we had to go in and tickle the psych level. I mean, why not, right? But even the Swiss franc, isn't that amazing? If you're buying Swiss franc, you're charged money to buy it. Just shows you how weak the pound really was, because obviously the people were not buying the Swiss franc. It was just the fact that the pound was so weak in that moment. But it behaved the way it should. Now, if you're going to re-short it, you're a little nervous because that's quite a pullback, right? But that's the kind of area that you're looking at, right? And here, plan A, plan B. What do you stink? Oh, is that right, Daniel? Yeah, there's YouTube recording errors and stuff. So some of the videos end early, so we'll look into that. Okay, so anyways, that's that. That's just against the Swiss franc. The Swiss franc is supposed to be weak, right? It's supposed to be weak, but whatever. So I wouldn't get too excited about buying Swiss franc, but hey, whatever, man. Do what you got to do, boy. Looking at Beast, how about the psych level of 180? Right. Now, just to reaffirm price action, right? Supportive area, resistance area. right? What's the trend in there? None. So how do you trade it? Breakout strategy. This one, big old breakout. Oops, I meant to draw an arrow. Here we go. Big old breakout. Retrace. You see how it comes back? Drop. Right? What do I teach you? Take the bottom of the previous low, drag it across. We didn't quite get there, but pretty close. Sell zoning, right? Newer low. Drag across the old support. We got a little more, but it still works because you kick it off the hourly 21. New low. Drag across. Retraces back to the 21. New low. And now here. So if you are a bear on this beast, you're going to look for that. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. And do you see the big red flag, the big caution? Where's the big caution sign on this chart? Yeah, the 55's back in control. So you're going to be worried about a double bottom. But that, we're talking 36 hours to be way up here, right? So who knows? Could just be tons of profit taking, but we'll see. Okay. Interesting, right? Remember, consolidate, breakout, and then trend trade. And you know how to trade consolidated areas if you're going to trade them at all? If you're at support and resistance. You're going to write that down. If you're at support and resistance. Then trade oscillator cycles. Don't trade oscillator cycles unless you're at support and resistance. So mark it up the way that you see fit. Maybe, come on, drawing tool. Maybe you're going to play it like this. Maybe you're going to play it like this. Okay. So then if then statements, if. So I prefer a lot of these. In fact, none of these are really good opportunities. Yeah, forget it. No trades there. Forget it. Yeah, because we get the oscillator cycles, but we weren't at really hardcore support. And then you get other oscillator cycles, but we're not really at hardcore resistance. So actually no trade there. Boop. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to move on. How about kitty cat? It never broke out. Oil still hasn't collapsed again yet. Let's look at what should we look at? Let's do yens. All right. Where should we start a Kiwi yen? Not a lot of action. We were at a key level yesterday, as you recall. No real challenge. We're stuck in here. Go to the smaller time frames and back out now. And it's a bit consolidated. So you got to pick your battles and hold the ones you think are going to win, I guess. Depends on, right? Seems like if I'm on long Kiwi yen, I'm going to want to hold it for as long as possible. And I might be willing to give up 100 pips. Meaning if I'm up 100 pips profit, I probably won't take profit. Because ideally, I stay long and strong for forever, really. And if I catch this breakout, it's good. I'm good for a long time, right? If I go back here, I can't even zoom out that far. How about 4 hour? Yeah, if we break out above this, I'm going to be good for a while, most likely. So the plan that I outlined yesterday was, break, pull back, long and gone. So if you can catch a dip in here, oops, didn't mean to do that. If you could catch a dip in here, and then it breaks out and pulls back, and you catch another here, and then it breaks out, you should be able to have two trades that should stick here for quite some time. And when is their next meeting? January 27th, was it? Something like that. So be a while. We'll see if they cut interest rates again. And well, CAD yen's going to be weak. How about USD? Let's look at Aussie yen. There was a lot of hope on Aussie yen. We had a nice little run in here. And I still think there's a ton of opportunity, if you ask me. But I think you did. Okay. We're 786ing it, so we're at the Alamo. I see the pattern forming. I see the 5/8 cross forming. Oscillator doesn't say no. And then I look over at Aussie dollar. Remember, the floor is 70, and we had a dip over the last few days and did a retest of was it 71? I guess 71. Well, we're back at 72 and some change. We're not even moving towards 70. Interesting. It's very, 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 very interesting. Now, Kiwi has been stronger than Aussie, but based on the economic data and the sort of the sentiment coming out of the Reserve Bank of Australia, I feel more comfortable long Aussie than Kiwi. And boy, this might be a nice one, huh? What do you stink? Anybody? I mean, you could see I've been marking it up forever. Look at all these pullbacks and retracements, and then we got another little one, and then that did extend. And we're trying to get past the obvious, right? So when we rallied up, all we did was test this and collapse, right? It's not complicated. But the question is, and if you go back here, I had highlighted it, you see? Resistance, resistance. Now that's a beaut, don't you think? That's perfect, isn't it? Roll reversal. Roll reversal. Roll reversal. Roll reversal. Right? I mean, just that's how it's supposed to be, right? Right as rain. Right as rain. Right? Boom, 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 boom. So who knows how that works out, right? So now you got to like find a little dippy poo. Boom, 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 boom. How about the weekly central pivot point? Boom, 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 boom. What do you think about that? Could be a rabbit, could be. No, not quite. So I'll get rid of that. All right. So you know what I mean? Could be a nice New Year gift. You see any great opportunities here? Nah. Right? So Aussie and Kiwi, the high yielders. What about my old favorite years ago, Turkish lira yen, South African rand yen? But the interesting part about that a million years ago was money was flowing to those economies. Money's not flowing to those economies anymore, right? Frederick, I just showed that we're sitting on the weekly central pivot point. So if you think that's support, put together a plan, dude. Right. It's 95% oversold, sitting on the weekly central pivot point in a role reversal setup. Right. All right. Gold. We haven't done gold in a while. Or should we do Euro ZAR? Battle of the. Let's do that one. Yeah, Warren. The whole world's holding its breath in anticipation. Everybody in America is on the edge of their seat. Yeah, good, Marina. Yeah, if they were smart, right? All right, why are these not loading? I guess maybe they got rid of it. That's the point, huh? All right. No ZAR. Yeah, do I have Kiwi CAD? Funny, huh? Yeah, I'm sure, Warren. Let's hope they make the right decision. Do you ever watch the central bank meetings? South Africa actually streams theirs in live video. Another country with a female central banker. So I'm just looking at that. I'm going to be pretty cautious with my setups, guys. Right? USD yen is slowly moving and not necessarily in the right direction and not very quickly. So I don't know if well, say it this way. I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to go in the opposite direction. And I don't want to take the risk if my upside potential is 35 pips, who cares, right? USD CAD still at that support level, still trying to turn around and head up, but maybe wants to play the daily. So we're still a long ways from the daily 21. So maybe, but probably not. That Aussie yen is a maybe. CAD yen is poised to fall if the yens get strong today. I guess we can look at that. That's the benefit of having 18 screens. I can just look around the world. I barely need to move my head. All right. So I was looking at the 4 hour. Was it the 4 hour? Yeah, CAD yen 4 hour. Change it here. And we're just kind of getting into the squeeze, you see? So if you're playing the EMAs, this is your sell zone A. If you're playing the price action, this is your sell zone A. If you're playing fibs, it's all the same thing, right? If you're playing fibs, that's about a 50%, right? Hallelujah. Okay. Somewhere between the 382 and 618, you want to sell it. Oh, beauty. Okay. So maybe if we get some yen strength today and or Canadian dollar weakness, ideally Canadian dollar weakness and yen strength, then this could be a nice sell. What do you think? Yeah, it's going to be a good number, right, Peter? Canadians want to spend extra money this Christmas because they're feeling so good. The economy is so great. Everyone that used to have a job has a job. Yeah, let me give you a story. My uncle's worked at an oil company since he was 17 years old. I don't know, what is he, 60 years old now? Right? That's a long time to work for one company. He's vice president of the firm. Oil prices tank. He's called into the boss's office and he's like, "Thank you for 40 years of work. You're fired." What? Yeah, you're fired. But wait, I've worked here since I was 17. You've stuck me in the middle of the forest or the tundra, thousands of miles away from other people. I've suffered through the cold and literal perpetual nights and isolation and sacrifice of family and potential loss of life. And I gave you everything I had. Yeah, thanks for that, buddy. Get the hell out. That's what happens when oil drops from $100 a barrel to $30 a barrel. And that's probably how a lot of Canadians feel right now. Hey, thanks. You used to make $500,000 a year. Get the hell out. You're fired. Okay. Wow. It's only business, right? So apparently the production numbers are coming out of the United States and production has collapsed. Collapsed. Yeah, Piper, he'll have to sell, one or two of his 15 cars or motorcycles. It's going to be tough with only one Bugatti. Nah, he rented the Bugatti, but still. Yeah, so anyways, OPEC is pumping oil like crazy to drive the Americans out of the market, and production levels are starting to show that it's working. Yeah, no recovery out of this one. You notice that when it did collapse, it collapsed off the old area here. I was hoping that, like when we were down here, remember, hope's not a strategy, but what we were planning for is, what if the $40 mark holds, right? It's a valid question, right? Back down in here. What if $40 a barrel holds? What if we go up to 50 and maybe touch as high as 60 and then collapse back down to 50? What if we stay in there, right? Well, Stephen, if oil is at $60 a barrel and demand is constant, then OPEC has to share that market with everyone else that can produce oil cheaper than $60 a barrel. So let's say Saudi Arabia is half the world market. So they get 50% of the $60, right? So they're making $30 a barrel, let's say. But what if oil is $35 a barrel, but Americans, for example, frackers, and Canadians, like the oil sands, their cost is higher than $35 a barrel. So they just don't produce any oil. So now Saudi Arabia gets nearly 100% of the global market at $35 a barrel. So now they sell twice as much oil and at $35 a barrel. So they're actually making, a significant percentage more money by squeezing everybody else out. That's the point. I read it was going down to $2. Yeah. Whatever. See, that's the problem. If you're a talking head, you want to get someone to read your press release, you want to go on somebody's show, you're writing a magazine article, you're being quoted in the newspaper, all these different things that is a necessary part of the business. If you want anyone to care about what you said, you have to say sensational things. Right? I think the price of a barrel will go so low that if you buy the barrel, you get the oil for free. Whatever. I mean, you got to say something, right? Oh, really? Did you just say that? Let's write about it. Let's talk about it. So, whatever. I think the point is nothing has changed fundamentally to change price. Okay. But what happens if the Canadians and the Americans cut back production exponentially? We hit this $35 a barrel. It's even lower than they thought. Collapses. What happens to production? I guess I have to string the pearls a bit here. What I just said, Canada, well, in particular the United States, the numbers are coming out and the Americans are cutting back production. What OPEC is doing is starting to work. What does that mean? Less supply. Now, we still have too much. There's tons of it in storage, right? But the thing is, less producers producing does what to price? Right. So at a bare minimum, maybe we stabilize in where current prices. Maybe this doesn't go to $15 a barrel. You get it? Now, what signs are there that production is changing. Production levels is changing. Come on now, touch my baby. Okay, so we have to go. All right, so Brent crude on the right is, is trading here at $36.96. So let's just say 39 or $37 a barrel. And crude oil is trading at $37 a barrel. Anything odd about this? There's usually a huge spread between Brent crude and West Texas Intermediate crude. By what? $2, $3, $4, $5 a barrel? Right? Just a year ago, there was a giant spread between Brent and U.S. crude. Brent is English oil, right? Something terribly confusing is going on here. That is very, very, very abnormal. In fact, you may not see it again. Seriously, I think an oil person would fall out of their chair in amazement. Okay. Frederick, I just said it. West Texas Intermediate is from Texas. Brent is from the UK. Interesting, though, isn't it? You may not see this again. Take a picture, it'll last longer. No, it's because production levels are changing. Oil prices are, the difference between the two is unusual. There's a lot of different things going on, but this is just not kosher, so to speak. Big red flag. Whoop, whoop. Something is not right in the marketplace. Okay. And maybe it's time for a rally. Maybe this should be at $38 a barrel, not 30, or I guess $40 a barrel, not 37 or lower. Nice little drop though, huh? Look at that. Nice little buy zone. Isn't it nice to know that even the oil market trades the way we trade? Look at the cluster of pivots. Amazing, huh? All right. What's it going to do now? It's going to do this. Lovely, with your smile so warm and your teeth so green. And then what is this line? Yup. And then what's this line? 100-day moving average. Yeah, it changes from the 200 EMA to the 100-day SMA. You'll find that the 100 SMA, if you're looking at longer term charts, is more frequently used by technicians. When I developed the moving averages that we use, I wasn't looking at daily charts. I was looking at 1 hour, 15-minute basically charts. Adi says, where is the oil from Saudi Arabia? They have sour oil, OPEC. WTI is West Texas. Texas is not in Saudi Arabia. Texas is in America. Brent is in the North Sea, in the United Kingdom. The best oil in the world is from Canada. It's something called light sweet crude. It's beautiful oil. It's fabulous oil. And the oil that comes out of the ground in Saudi Arabia is sour, which means when it comes out, all this toxic gas and I mean, literally, you could strike it rich, hit oil, and die right there on the spot, because before the oil got out of the ground, you were poisoned, dead. Canada, the oil comes out of the ground, it smells like roses and babies and money. It smells like money. YJ says, yeah, could you add the S 100 day S 100-day SMA to the chart? Yeah, sure. Or your cloud probably does it. Is that right, Warren? Nigeria has sweet? Cool. Yeah, YJ, I would assume there's a cloud in there somewhere. Where is it? Look, it's just basically MACD. All right. That's higher, huh? Well, it's not far, right? Oh, but it's projecting it forward too, isn't it? Yeah. Is it projecting it forward, or is it just drawing it to the right? It's not actually projecting, is it? I think it's just drawing it to the right. It's a funny indicator. When I delete the indicator, it doesn't delete all the lines. I don't know what's going on there. I'm just trying to clear it up so you can see the cloud and the 100 SMA up here. Not a huge difference. Cool. So we'll see what goes on here. It's a nice bottom. Remember, currencies, I say, can do something forever. Commodities are not likely to do something forever because there's an underlying asset. Your house is not actually worthless. It's going to be worth something, right? It's a hard asset. And somewhere there's a barrel of oil and it's worth something. Now, it might be worth less than it used to be, but it's still a barrel of oil. The oil is worth something. And the barrel is worth something, right? I mean, it's worth something. Oh, yeah, just one thing to point out with the cloud stuff, guys. Typically, traders that are using it trade the USD yen only. And if I'm wrong on this, YJ, you can correct me, and you're not gonna hurt my feelings. You're not gonna step on my toes. But the way I understand, and of course the world can change. I'm not an expert in this, but the way that the cloud is used is on the USD yen. Why does it say Euro USD? I thought I went to your USD yen. All right. Well, let me. USD yen and daily chart only. And that you probably shouldn't be using it on your 5-minute chart, because the traders that use it, remember, technical analysis is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Right? So you need Japanese traders trading with you. Maybe if you really dive into it, you might find that even that may work best during Japanese trading hours too. But the cloud should be used on the USD yen daily chart. Okay. And that's that. It's just that simple. What should we trade for news? Well, would you like to trade USD CAD? That's why I'm holding off. We have CAD retail sales. They're going to be awesome. All right. Guy wants gold, and Guy is also Canadian. Guy, for extra bonus points, what is the highest denominated Canadian gold coin? Minted by, the Canadian Mint, where you can go, you could buy this coin. It's a solid gold coin, 99.9999 purity. What's the price in Canadian dollars of this, the face value of gold? This gold coin, it's a gold coin. What's the highest face value for this gold coin? 1 million Canadian dollars. Oh! I wouldn't carry it in my pocket though, because I think it's like 100 pounds. So, prices might have changed, right? But I just Googled it the other day. My son and I were talking about things. Yeah, and it was $1 million Canadian gold coin. Hallelujah. 100 kilograms. Yeah, I guess that would make much more sense. All right, so USD CAD. So we'll trade this. We'll watch it. We'll get the numbers. We'll do it together. I don't expect anything major or exciting. I don't think it's going to be great news, but looking at some of these time frames, we're not at good moving averages. We're not at good pivots. I mean, maybe this one, we've been watching it a while. It should have turned north by now anyways, but maybe this is the beginning. So what we're looking at is, if all goes well, this goes up and we make money today. If this falls, I just take a walk. Done. You know what I mean? Guy, you put it in the back of your pickup truck. That's where you put it. You can just imagine Guy driving through the countryside in his pickup truck, and he's got $1 million of gold in the back with his hound dog. Yeah, your Benz pickup truck. You know what you should name your hound dog? Billy Ray Valentine. All right, a couple minutes to the news. Let me fire up tradethenews.com, our squawk service. Only been using tradethenews.com for 9 years. That's it. Only 9 years, huh? Yeah, I desperately wanted a hound dog to name it Billy Ray. What's the fee for Trade the News? It's a very high quality institutional service. So I think if you just show up at the front door and you say, I'd like to buy whatever you're selling, they're like, no. I believe you need to be an institutional investor. They don't want to muddy their waters with retail hands, right? But if you tell them that, you know, you're a friend of Wayne McDonell, they'll let you in, but you still have to pay the money. I don't know, it's probably $200 or $300 a month, depending on what you want.
Transport expected 0.0%. PC deflator expected at 0.4% year over year. PC core expected at 0.1% and 1.3% for month and year over year. At Canada GDP and Canada retail sales for October.
So do you think people went out and bought stainless steel appliances for Christmas? The only upside that I'm hoping to see here, I mean, perfect storm, we get a good PCE out of the US and a bad retail sales out of Canada, and we green candle this thing.
And we'll get the November personal income, November durable goods, and November PCE deflator in just a few seconds.
Ciao.
Higher than expected. Durables at 0.0% is 0.6 higher than expected. X transport at minus 0.1% is 1/10 lower than expected. Capital goods orders at minus 0.4% is 2/10 lower than expected, with back month revised lower. Not capital goods shipments, non-defense at minus 0.5% is below the plus 0.5% expectation. PC deflator 0.4% is in line with expectation. PC core month over month at 0.1% is in line, and year over year at 1.3% also in line with expectations. Canada retail sales at 0.1% is 0.3 lower than expected, but back month revised up 1/10 to minus 0.4%. Canada GDP at 0.0% is 0.2 lower than expected month over month. Year over year at minus 0.2% is 1/10 lower than expected, though the back month was revised up 1/10 on a year over year basis to 0.1% for Canada GDP.
All right, you got that? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So core as expected, headline for PCE a little less than expected, but that's the oil, right? And then you take out energy, and PCE was just fine. Income was up, right? What happens when income goes up? Eventually it leads to more spending. So PCE, no real surprise. Durable goods, just fine. It's a very volatile report, so I don't really care that much about durable goods. Not really. Sometimes it leads to a real estate issue, but whatever. Canadian retail sales, less than expected. Not a shocker. right? Really? And guess what? GDP was bad. Really? I mean, of course, right? So, boom, shalakalaka. Everything is as it should be. Nice, huh? Nice little move. Now what, right? Well, now you got to readjust your Fibonacci. And if you're going to scalp it, you got to zoop, zoop, doop. You got to take it north here pretty soon. Not on this candle, but maybe the next candle. If you're going to scalp it long, that is. This is kind of your area. Okay, hoping for green now. Hoping for green. Hoping for green. Hoping for green. Right? If you're in, your stop's only here, so it's not a lot of pips. But it's not, I mean, we need to kind of get above here, right? I want to see up. I want to see green above this area. Right? Don't you stink? Remember, we're not far from the 4-hour 21. That's kind of the thing we want us to hold. We want that bottom to hold. So it's not just a scalp. The reason we want this to go long, we want the 4-hour to hold, right? So if I go back to the 4-hour, hallelujah, we want to see that hold and head north. If that doesn't hold, like what did I say earlier? Then I take a walk. Just not interested. Okay, so we need green here. So everybody think green, 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 green. Well, that doesn't work, but if everyone put $1 million on it, maybe we can get it to move a little bit. Well, Stephen, what if 100 of us got together on a currency pair, let's say in the Asian session when the market's thinner, we all get together, 100 of us, and all at the same time put $1 million position on. Could we spike it and everybody makes money? Could we all make 10 pips at the same time? Because everyone went 3, 2, 1, and all these orders just go in and we move it 10 pips and walk. That'd be cool, right? I got that idea from criminals in Chicago. They use the internet to group together, right? There's no real person in charge. There's no personal benefit by anyone, but the criminals show up. They get together somehow through social media and they say, all right, we're going to show up on the Magnificent Mile during the shopping season when there's thousands of people on the street. And all of a sudden, like 500 muggers will show up. And at the stroke of, 2:15 p.m., they rob everybody and then leave, and there's nobody in charge. So there we go, folks. I forget what they call it. It's got a cool name, but they just, and you can't catch them because there's nobody in charge and they're all gone. Just all the muggers just leave. They all go in different directions and there's no criminal mastermind. It's just social networking, social media, and they just boom, hit and run, and it's gone. And it's all done in 5 minutes. 500 people are robbed in 5 minutes. So anyways, wouldn't it be neat if we could do that with Forex? Just come in, and we all take 10 pips and run. Oh, Guy saw that happen at a corner store. Yeah, interesting. Luis, I'm in, right? No, each a $1 million wouldn't do anything to the market. Just a thought, right? Right. Keep in mind, we'd all make $1,000 in 1 minute. All right, so I'm going to readjust the Fibo here. Fibonacci. And hopefully it kicks off this roll reversal now. It doesn't have to, of course. But I'm just saying price action wise, it'd be nice for this to turn green again. Well, I know one fool that claimed to have made something like $17,000, and he did it in like 1 minute. And you waited till like a Wednesday after a long weekend when you got paid triple interest, and at 4:59 he put down like a 15 or $20 million position on pound yen. And at 5 o'clock, right, 40 seconds later, took profit. He got all the interest payments plus the thing spiked like 10 pips or something, and he got out. But he was paid for 3 or 4 days worth of interest, and the carry back then was 6% or 6 or 7%, whatever it was, times 4 days, and all that kind of stuff. And he freaked out, and I said, "You're going to blow up your trade account." So he took my advice. He stopped doing it. And it took him 3 more years to blow up his trading account. Yeah, that would get the sweat going, right, Stephen? Because he could have easily lost at least $17,000 in that time period. In fact, in some of those situations, if you want to watch rollover, it's not as big as it used to be, but watch rollover. Contact your broker, find out when they conduct their rollover. Right? And obviously European brokers, they're going to do it at 5 p.m. their time, and then you have U.S. brokers that do it at 5 p.m. their time, and so on and so forth. And some do it at 4, some do it at 5, some do it at 6. So, contact your broker, but watch rollover. And that's when they do their mark-to-market stuff. So if you're owed money in interest or you have to pay money in interest, that's when they do it. And very often you'll see for the 3 minutes, let's say 2 minutes before 5 p.m. New York, and 2 minutes after, let's say that 4-minute spread, you can just get boom, a move as these markets are rolling over. And you can get a little pop and drop either for the interest or away from the interest, depending on what market participants are doing. But back then it was a big deal. And then of course what this guy did is he waited for because there's 2-day settlement in Forex. So on Wednesdays you're getting paid for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday's interest. Even though you've only held the trade for 1 minute, you're going to get paid 3 days worth of interest. But if you have a 6 or 7% carry and you're on $20 million, it's a reasonable chunk of change. But on long weekends, the markets closed Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So on Thursday, you're getting paid Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, right? So you're getting 4 days carry. And, it was a big deal back then. And so not only did he get the huge interest payment, right? I can't remember what it was. He made a couple of $1,000 on interest payments, but that day he got lucky and the currency pair popped, 12, 18 pips, whatever, and he instantly got out. So he held the trade for about 45 seconds and made, $15,000 profit. One of the dumbest things I ever heard. Lucky or stupid? Sounds stupid to me. What an idiot. And I told him so. And he's like, I'm freaking out, man. I'm just freaking out. I'm like, yeah. I said, well, you would have been luckier if you would have blown up the trade account and stopped doing that, right? Or at least, lost 15,000. At least you wouldn't do it again. So I said, take my advice, man. Never do that again. Exactly. So anyways, a few years later, he was so broke, I had to lend him $10,000 in cash because he couldn't pay his mortgage payment. All right, so let's see what happens here. It's having trouble making highs. Let's zoom out. Let's add a little more data to the price time continuum. Not a shocker here as far as why it's resistance, right? So really what you want to do is trap it almost like in a range. I don't know if you want to trap it like off that or off this. Right? Well, but like I was alluding to this earlier, Joseph, these trades are probably not trades you want to take profit on. If you get in on a little scalp, and there were some nice areas in here, and then you could see even a second chance, great. You put your stop, either move it closer or move it to break even, and you're done. And what if you come back, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday after the holidays, and you're like, oh, snap, I'm up 300 pips. Merry Christmas. Right? Do you honestly need the 12 pips profit or the 22 pips profit? Like, oh, that's going to make a big difference, right? If the answer is no, at least you're in on the 4-hour 21 in the direction you probably want to be in. I don't think it's dumb to be long US dollar, Canadian dollar, right? So take the 300 pips if you can get it. That'll be a nice little Christmas bonus, right? Right? Isn't that how you get yourself the Christmas bonus? Get in it and then win it. Just make sure you don't have any risk. That's the smart way to, right? What am I gambling now? Opportunity cost. I'm up 37 pips. Should I take the profit? No. What would your mother think? Oh, Joseph, I just don't know why you take the 37 pips. You were just always that way. If you only traded Forex like your brother. But Mom, 37 pips. Right? Do you know the story, the saying, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush? The bird in the hand is the falcon. Okay, the falcon flies around, can kill other birds, particularly the two birds sitting on the bush going, these are great berries, huh? And then the meat-eating falcon comes by and wham! So what's worth more, the two birds sitting in the bush that you're going to eat dinner with, or the bird that provides dinner day after day after day? In Forex, it's like getting a good position in the direction of the long-term technicals and fundamentals, and you enter the trade. It's like releasing the falcon. It should provide dinner more than once. Do you understand? The two birds in the bush are going to feed your family today, but if you can get a good trade in the direction of the prevailing trend, it should pay and put dinner on the table, not just today, but tomorrow and next week. That's right. Run like a wife with two jobs. Hey now. Yeah. Well, you sit and play video games all day in your sweatpants, huh? All right, so it's a little wimp out here. So I don't know. I think we're done, right? So let me tell you, from my family to yours, happy holidays, whether you're Christian or not. It's still an opportunity. It's the end of the year. It's a time to reflect, and it's a time to be with family. And I think that is universal. So anyways, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I will not see you tomorrow. I will not see you till Monday. And then we'll do a Monday session. And thank you to those that sent me cigars. I really appreciate that. I think that's really cool. So, but I'll get some ridiculously awesome stuff. So I will see you next week. So it's not the last session of the year, but yeah, please enjoy. If you have an opportunity to be with friends and family over the next few days, please enjoy it. And remember, say the things that need to be said, right? The first stop placement's here, but now your stop placement should be closer to your entry. So that's why I drew this. That's your stop. Okay, and this was the breakout. So you have two shots, right? 5A cross, breakout, retracement, roll reversal here. So your entry is here or down in here, and maybe you move your stop. And I mean, you could be knocked out just now. I mean, but there's just nothing to these little trades. Okay. So anyways, Take care, everybody. Thank you again. You make me want to be a better trader. So I'll see you on Monday, huh? Thanks for being on my team.